Hey beauties, welcome back to my channel. Today is my Chanel Holiday Beauty Haul Part 2. Part 1 is already posted if you want to go back and watch that video. I have since picked up one of the holiday gift sets and one of the larger 9-pan eyeshadow palettes. So we are going to unbox everything. I'm going to swatch, demonstrate, and share my thoughts with you. Based on the comments I've seen rolling in on my latest Instagram reel, I think a lot of us are having the same initial reaction to this entire collection. I know when I first saw photos of these three palettes, I was so confused. I kind of thought, well, where did these come from? It feels a little bit disjointed from the main holiday collection. The color stories seem to be a bit all over the place. Just very unexpected from Chanel in general. Let's quickly take a look at the two palettes I did not purchase. 847, the Daring Muse, has a lot of jewel tones: red, green, blue, gold, silver. A lot of people have already called out this palette is very reminiscent of a 9-pan eyeshadow palette they had years ago. The edition number 2 Quintessence palette. It's not exactly the same, but you can't deny there is a resemblance here. You don't have a sparkly black, the greens are different, the reds are different. I think you can tell based on the condition of this number 2 Quintessence that I wasn't a huge fan of the color story. I purchased to review, of course, but I don't know if I've touched this palette since that initial review. It's been so long. I was digging in my collection to see what I still had, and even when this first launched, I remembered not being super excited. And then we have 848, the new singular. I was thinking, where does that name come from? Is this supposed to be a collection of all of the current Chanel singles? I don't really understand this palette. You have a mint green, a neon green, a not all that flattering shade of yellow, purple, orange. This palette is all over the place. I think the right artist is going to create beautiful looks with all three of these palettes, let's be clear. You are certainly not meant to dip into all 9 shades, but it's still sort of strange to look at. Even just the layout of this color story seems so odd. At $160 per palette, I knew I was only going to choose one, if any, from this collection, and I went with 849, the Space Traveler. It seems like this is going to be the most popular palette. The comments I've seen, people prefer this color story out of the three. To me, this feels very similar to a Pat McGrath Labs Mothership palette because it has all of those duochrome shadows. You still have a few neutrals in this palette, so I think that does make it a bit more versatile. Only for Chanel would I break my no-buy rule of purchasing a larger eyeshadow palette. I am so done with large palettes. I think it's kind of cute that they kept it in the same oversized compact that we've been seeing for the last few years. The pans are definitely a little bit larger. Let me not say definite before I make sure. This says 8 grams of eyeshadow. This says 2 grams of eyeshadow. Okay, so yeah, so these pans are definitely bigger. You get more of each shade. And of course, you get 9 of them instead of 4. But it definitely does not feel like Chanel. It doesn't feel classic or timeless, which a lot of people expect, especially, people who have been purchasing Chanel for decades are probably not super enthusiastic about this color story. It's a little costumey. It's a little Mardi Gras, New Year's Eve, birthday, just a lot of glitter. A lot of glitter and sparkle going on. But if you're excited about glitter, if you still love your Mothership palettes, if you love getting artistic and creative and you love dipping into jewel tones with your eyeshadow, I think you're gonna have so much fun. We're getting right into the demo. Before we dip into the eyeshadow palette, we need to attempt redemption for this luminous blush. If you missed my first review, I swatched the 997 Rose Lumiere Illuminating Powder Blush. It is so light. It really is more of a highlighter, potentially a blush topper. I don't have any blush on my cheeks. I wanna see if we can find a way to use this so that it does show up for one thing, but it creates a flattering makeup look. I want to start with a cream blush first and then layer the powder on top. I don't really have a cream blush from Chanel that I think would work in this situation. The Water Fresh blush would break up my makeup, so I'm just going in with these soft filter blushes from Dior. I mixed a little Daisy and Hibiscus on the back of my hand. Now I'm going to go ahead and just tap that on, build up a little color. Do you see, even this is soft, but at least it's showing up. You know, I think I actually had some bronzer on that brush. Oops. There we go. We have some color to the cheeks. Now I'm going to go in with a fresh brush and I am just going to swirl this around, but I'm actually trying to really concentrate in the pink part. See, that is really beautiful. Ooh. See, that's cute. It's all about managing your expectations. That's why I do these reviews, is to help you decide what is best for you, because I know I went into it expecting a blush, and when I didn't get any pigment, I was nervous and a little bit thrown, which led to a little disappointment, but it's not that it's a terrible product. So I just want to show you that it can absolutely be worn. If you already purchased this product, you can absolutely enjoy it. In my initial review, I said we were giving Dusty Crusty, but now we have Redemption and it is serving Sugar Plum Fairy. Very pretty. And now it's time to travel space together. I picked up a Refer 15 brush, and you know, one favor they did us was giving us this matte medium intensity brown. I think they knew that there could be revolution if they didn't give us at least one neutral matte eyeshadow in this palette. So I'm picking that up and we are just going to buff that in the crease. It's almost more of a peachy brown. I really like the undertone. It's not too warm, but it's not super cool and neutral. Almost a pinky brown or a nudie brown. Stunning. Okay, that shadow is really, really pretty. I love, love, love this color. We already did a blue look for the holidays. Of course, I'm going to continue playing around with this eyeshadow palette now that I own it. Many more looks to come, but I think for this initial review, I'm gonna dip into this shade right here. This kind of goldy yellow. This is going on the inner lid. And see, that went on quite sheer. When you swatch them with your fingers, you definitely build up more intensity, but if you like the option for just a sheer wash of shimmer, it is possible with a brush. And then you can just further build up the intensity or just go in with your finger. We are still wearable. Nothing terrible has happened. I actually think that looks really nice. It's sort of giving sunset vibes. I've picked up that first pinky brown and I'm buffing that beneath the lower lash line. With a palette like this, it's always so tempting to dip into a ton of shades and, you know, experiment with all of them, do something really rainbow and sparkly, but I actually think that's maybe not the more helpful way to go, because I would much rather create a realistic look using this palette than something really dramatic that might be fun to watch, but you're not actually going to wear your makeup like that. I wouldn't wear my makeup like that in public. Next, I've picked up a Nikki LaRose BK Beauty N23. This came from the Volume 2 set. And I am going into the darker brown down here. I just want to see, and actually that is a lot more pigmented than I thought it was going to be. That makes me happy. Wow. I'm adding a little depth in the outer V area, applying all over that outer V, kind of winging out just a little bit, just to give us a little depth. With my original fluffy brush, I'm just blending that into the pinky brown. This brush, I am so excited about, and unfortunately I did look, I don't think they sell this separately. They need to, because this brush is very unique. This is the BK Beauty Nikki LaRose N21. This is like the brush of my dreams. I've been trying to create looks using a similar brush. This is what I needed. So with this, I am now going into the black. And I'm going to use this to buff out the top lash line, starting about halfway. And I am just going to line the top lash line, but I'm not taking it all the way in. Just want to smoke out that lash line as much as possible. And then when I get to the outer corner, I am just going to flick out. That's a pretty black. Black is tricky. It can look really patchy. Sometimes it ends up looking kind of gray and blue. On my eye, for some reason, gray or gunmetal almost always looks blue. And that happens a lot with black as well. I'm sure there's a reason for it. I have no idea. Just buffing this out. I love this brush so much. I really like where we are, but just for fun, a little drama, I'm gonna see what happens when I use my finger to pick up that gold. Oh yeah, see, that is much more intense. Final, just for fun, I've picked up another brush. I'm gonna go into the white. And I feel like this might be a mistake because I know this isn't truly white. It has a blue reflect, but I wanna see what this looks like in the inner corner. Okay, so that's not too bad. I think this is what gives it that space, intergalactic look. Now we're space travelers because we have this pop of blue shimmer, kind of like a pearly blue. We're just outside of Earth's atmosphere, but we didn't travel too far into space. We still look like normal Earthlings. I think this is a good look. I want this demo to be as helpful to you as possible, so we're going to do a different eye look on the other side. I normally hate doing this because I feel like it takes away from the look and you won't really be able to tell what either eye look translates to in real makeup. And I like this side, so we will do this again. We'll keep playing around with the palette, but we're gonna do something a little bit more jewel toned on the other side. And unfortunately, I am going to dip into this palette because we don't have a cool toned matte. This is a really nice matte gray. Not only do I like to stick with matte shadows in the crease, I like to keep cool tones with cool tones and warm tones with warms. Neutrals are a nice kind of mediator, but if we're gonna dip into those blues, I don't want a warm brown in the crease and then an icy blue metallic shade on the lid. I think that will just look sort of strange. I'm also running that beneath the lower lash line, so we might as well knock that out now. I quickly wiped off my flat shader brush, and now I think we're gonna do it. We're gonna go straight into this blue right here. This is by far the most intimidating blue. I think this is more intimidating than the darker sparkly because this is clearly smoky eye. This is smoky eye material all the way, but with this just bold, bright sapphire blue, I don't know what to do with that. I'm just gonna see what happens. I just wanna lightly pop that on the inner and outer lid. When I pick it up with my finger, I get a lot of sparkle, but on the brush, it's kind of just giving blue. I hate doing two different eye looks. It looks nuts. Okay, so we are gonna go into this shade, this beautiful kind of purple with the blue shift. This is such a fun color. This is definitely giving Pat McGrath Mothership, and this is going right in the center. How interesting. See, that goes on a little bit more sheer as well. I don't hate it. I think we might need to just pick that up with our finger. Actually, let me pick up the pearl. There we go. And I'm tapping that right on the center. Ooh, I would suggest doing your eyes first because if you do get fallout, it's gonna end up blending glitter into your face makeup, but that's okay. I wiped off my N21 brush and now we're just gonna go into the deep sparkly. This is going to be our eyeliner. Since we already played with the black, we might as well see what this looks like along the lash line. It's a pretty color though, and it's something different other than black or brown. I think maybe using an eyeliner brush and then wetting that eyeshadow would make it even more intense as well. That would be really pretty. I'm gonna finish both eyes with a little liquid eyeliner and mascara, but we're basically done with the eyeshadow, and I feel like we've created two pretty wearable eyeshadow looks. Between the two sides, I feel more confident, more comfortable with this just because I typically live in neutral colors. I could see myself actually wearing this out. I don't wear blue that often. It's not to say I've never worn blue, but I do think these softer blues can be very pretty, can be wearable. I think of all of the three palettes, I still stand by my opinion that this is the most versatile, because if you didn't want to touch any of the sparkles, you still have some really pretty neutrals down here. And now the only shade we didn't touch in the palette is the super yellowy gold down here, which I will probably never touch because I don't like a super yellowy gold. But the other shades in the palette are really fun. However you feel about the color story, the quality of these eyeshadows is really nice. I think the quality here is on par with their singles. I think it's much better than most of their quads. So I'm really happy with the quality. The colors are interesting. I would not say it is a must-have product from Chanel, but if you're a beauty collector, a Chanel collector, if you love these colors and you love experimenting with jewel tones, I think the quality of this palette is really nice. I feel much better about my $160 purchase of the Space Traveler than I do my $250 purchase of the recent Louis Vuitton eyeshadow. Now let's go ahead and unbox this holiday gift set. The bags online are deceiving. I think they are much cuter in person. It was Amber Ashley posted a picture of her holiday bag and I thought, yep, I do need to check them out. I went with the lip routine set, which was $122, something worth mentioning. And I know we have seen price hikes every single year, but I think in years past, there has always been at least one bag, maybe a nail polish duo, around $76. This is the cheapest bag, I believe, at $122. The lip gloss trio is back. It used to be like $92, $93, but I want to say it's $127, around $130 now. So the prices keep going up. I can't believe there's not a single choice under $100 this year. This set comes with the Hydra Beauty Micro Serum for the lips and the Rouge Allure Velvet Luminous Matte Color in 58 Rouge V, which is a really popular shade. I feel like they always feature shade 58. I'm not huge into mattes or the velvets, and I definitely don't need a red lipstick, but it was difficult to choose. As much as I like the bags this year, I think I'm just a little bit bored of the selection. I've been picking these up every single year for the past few years. There's not a ton of variation. I feel like they need to come up with new combinations for people because I was struggling to make a decision, but I have never tried the Hydra Beauty Micro Serum, the Camellia Serum for the lips, so that's really why I decided to choose this bag. I don't think the camera can pick up just how sparkly this tweed is. The dark kind of midnight navy tweed with the sparkle is very beautiful. Camellia zipper pull. At the time I'm filming this video, these pieces are not online yet, but I did see somewhere, somebody had commented that October 15th would be the official launch. So I imagine that's when everything will go online. Of course, I will continue to update you. I usually post on my Instagram stories first, and then I'll do a community post in case you're interested in any of these items. The bags do tend to sell out quickly. I still think that the Dior gold bags are a little bit prettier this year. I like the handle. I can see myself maybe getting more use out of the Dior bag, but these midnight navy bags are really, really pretty from Chanel. So we have the Coveted Essentials Beauty Set for $155. This comes with the lip balm, the nail polish color, and the hand cream. Eyes to Impress for $127. This comes with the mascara base, Le Volume, and the espresso eyeliner. This is a good set. These are all good staples. The Amplified Gaze makeup set is $126. It comes with the Rouge Allure mascara and the Essential eyeshadow palette. The Gloss Up set is the Lip Gloss Trio, and it looks like these are the same 3 shades that we had last year. This is always classic. I almost always pick up a lip gloss trio set. I don't know why. I was so shocked to see that it's $138. The Effortless Allure makeup set is $244. It comes with the Le Beige Water Fresh blush, a little camellia cream, and a Le Beige eyeshadow palette. The Le Lift Smooth Results skincare set is $268. It comes with the Le Lift hand cream and a moisturizer. Hydra Beauty Maximum Moisture skin set is $187, and it comes with the cream and maybe the eye cream from Hydra Beauty. There's a No. 1 de Chanel Power Pair skincare set for $257, comes with the serum and moisturizer. And then the lip routine set for $122, the cheapest of the bunch. It comes with the Hydra Beauty lip serum and the lipstick. And that completes part 2 of Chanel Holiday. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this video and you found it helpful. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. Leave me your comments, questions down below. As always, I will be linking everything mentioned. Everything on my face will be tagged directly to the video or listed down below in the description box for your convenience. And for more videos like this, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell.